On this week's episode, Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman is suing AMC. Daniel Craig has signed on for the next James Bond film. Elon Musk's OpenAI gaming bot has taken over the gaming world and has its eyes set on the real world now. And finally, no need to raise alarm, but just FYI, Mewtwo is now available in Pokemon Go.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
All this and much, much more on this week's episode of the Nerf Report.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the Nerf Report. My name is Bryant, Chappel, and let's get straight into this week's news. This week, Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman filed a lawsuit against AMC. In the lawsuit, he claims that the network has been keeping profits to itself and not properly distributing them amongst the executive producers. The lawsuit is estimated to potentially cost AMC up to $1 billion, and Robert Kirkman is not alone. Fellow executive producers like Gail Ann Hurd, Glenn Mazzara, and David Alpert are all accusing AMC of the breach of contract. The lawsuit reads, this case arises from a major entertainment conglomerate's failure to honor its contractual obligations to the creative people. The talent is industry jargon behind the widely successful and hugely profitable long-running television series The Walking Dead. The defendant AMC entities exploited their vertically integrated corporate structure to combine both the production and exhibition of The Walking Dead, which allowed AMC to keep the lion's shares of the series' enormous profits for itself and not share it with the plaintiffs as required by the contracts. While AMC Network previously aired such popular shows as Mad Men and Breaking Bad, the ratings of The Walking Dead and the revenues that accompanied those ratings have far exceeded the ratings and revenues from those series, and have catapulted AMC Parent and its financial value to a whole new level. But while AMC Parent has been richly rewarded for the success of The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and Talking Dead, both of which are also subjects of this lawsuit, AMC has used its vertically integrated corporate structure to avoid sharing the financial success with the profit participants, including the plaintiffs who wrote and created and produced these programs. Legal jargon aside, what the executive producers here are accusing is that AMC is actually increasing or inflating the cost of the Walking Dead production, thus meaning lower profits for the show and thus meaning lower paydays for the executive producers involved. Now, before we jump to any conclusions and say, you greedy bastards, you have enough money, we need to understand the executive producers have a very valid concern here. The Walking Dead is produced and filmed by AMC Studios, who then sells the rights to air the show to AMC Network. This is different than shows like Better Call Saul or Mad Men, in which outside studios not affiliated with AMC produce the show. The executive producers fear that AMC Studios is raising the cost of the show to AMC Network, thus lowering the commissions to the executive producers, but AMC as a whole, between the network and the studio, still take home more money. The lawsuit currently claims that Robert Kirkman makes about 5% of profits from the show, while his executive producer partner, Gail Hurd, makes about 7.5% of profits on every show. And according to Rolling Stones, if AMC is found to have suffused the profits from the series since season 1, the damages could total close to $1 billion. While the future of The Walking Dead is currently not in jeopardy, and lawsuits like this are pretty common in the entertainment industry, it's hard for me to take a side. I understand where the executive producers come from. You know, we get paid on the profits of the show. And if they're accusing the studios of saying, hey, an average episode of The Walking Dead cost $1 million to make, when in reality, it might only cost about $750,000, leaving an additional $250,000 per episode of The Walking Dead that the executive producers are not getting paid on, that's a valid concern. And if that ends up being the case, the executive producers have all the rights in the world to get all of that money. Also this week, Blizzard announced that it would be renaming its multiplayer online gaming platform. The BattleNet service launched in 1996 along with the hit Blizzard game of Diablo. And with millions of players playing World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Overwatch, BattleNet has become one of the industry's most respected services. This is not the first time Blizzard has tried to rename the service. Last year, Blizzard tried to rename BattleNet Blizzard Tech.
It's still
BattleNet.
gonna be, damn it!
However, after the outcries of millions of fans, they decided to drop the name Blizzard Tech, keep the name BattleNet up until, well, this week when Blizzard announced that BattleNet will now be known as Blizzard BattleNet. Isn't that what it's always been called? I'm confused here. In a statement on their website, Blizzard had this to say: "When we announced that we would be transitioning away from our BattleNet name for our online gaming service, we suspected the shift would be challenging. We understood that BattleNet stood for something special. It represents years of shared history and enjoyment, community, and friendship for all of us and our players." With that statement in mind, it makes total sense why they dropped Blizzard Tech. I mean, BattleNet is a great name. When they announced BattleNet and Destiny 2 were partnered, I think everybody in the world knew that, hey, if you're going to launch Destiny 2 on anybody's servers, BattleNet is definitely the servers to do it. After months of speculation on whether he's in or not in for the next James Bond film, Daniel Craig has finally put the rumors to rest. Daniel Craig has been playing the iconic James Bond since 2006 and has starred in Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. Following his last performance in Spectre, Daniel Craig was asked by Time Out London, "Can you imagine doing another Bond film?" In which Daniel Craig's response was probably a nightmare for his PR agent. Daniel Craig told Time Out London, "Now, I'd rather break this glass and slash my wrists. No, not at the moment. Not at all. That's fine. I'm over it at the moment. We're done. All I want to do is move on." I hope I get to a point on the Nerf Report that they're like, "Are you going to do another episode?" And I'm like, "No, I'd rather take this glass and just slash my wrists and be done with it." That's a guy that clearly has way too much money. Like, he's like, "How much are you going to pay me for the next Bond film?" "Oh, no, I'm good. I'd rather die." Well, this week, while on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Daniel Craig let us all know that he will be returning and reprising his role of 007 in the 25th James Bond film. This will be the 5th and final James Bond film for Daniel Craig, which means it's time to wind up the who will be the next James Bond speculation wheel. Personally, Idris Elba and Tom Hardy have my vote, but honestly, there's an even bigger question that none of us are asking. How is it that we have 25 James Bond film and we don't even have a single live-action Archer film?
Ironic, isn't it?
I'm not sure that's technically irony.
What?
Following the massive failure of Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, Niantic has been working desperately at trying to rebrand and redefine how Pokemon Go is actually played. Prior to the Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, Niantic announced that there would be in-game raids in which players can unite in a group of up to 20 players and take down OP Pokemon with the chance of catching them. Well, after Pokemon Go Fest, they announced that there would be a such thing called Legendary Raids, and Legendary Raids were the opportunity for players to catch Pokemon like Lugia, Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. However, this week, Niantic hosted a Pokemon Go Stadium event in Yokohama, Japan, in which thousands of players in attendance got the opportunity to catch a Mewtwo. Honestly, I'm a little pissed off. Like, how is it that the Nerf Report never gets invited to these events? Chicago's Pokemon Go Fest failed miserably, putting it on the list of Chicago's greatest disasters, right behind the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Fortunately, the bad news did not stop there for Niantic. In fact, during the live stream, they cut to this player who clearly was having issues with the game.
Are 6 Pokemon types here that you've got to catch to unlock our global rewards. Just a reminder, you got to catch fire type.
In response to the disaster of Pokemon Go Fest, Niantic is refunding the $20 tickets to everyone who attended.
We can't play! We can't play!
Well, it didn't really go that way. Alright, that's probably why I've never got an invite. Well, if you weren't one of those lucky 1,000 individuals in attendance, well, never fear, because you will have your opportunity to catch a Mewtwo and it'll... What's a legendary exclusive raid? Well, Niantic explained it on their website as, exclusive raid battles are similar to existing raid battles, with a few notable differences. exclusive raids will periodically appear at gyms from around the world. However, unlike existing raids, trainers will be invited to join the exclusive raid battle. To receive an invitation to participate in an exclusive raid battle, trainers must have successfully completed a raid recently by defeating the raid boss at the gym where the exclusive raid battle will be taking place. The invitation will include advance warnings of when the exclusive raid will be taking place, giving them ample time to coordinate with other trainers before taking on the powerful raid boss. I gotta be honest, I'm not really into this idea. Like, I've competed in every single raid that has appeared in my town. But let's just say there was that one gym, that one raid appeared on one day when I wasn't able to play, and that happens to be the gym where the exclusive legendary raid happens. Well, sore luck for me, I'm not going to be able to catch a Mewtwo. However, Niantic turned kind of bad news for me into kind of good news by announcing that new legendary Pokemon will be appearing in the upcoming weeks. With Ho-Oh, Mew, and the 3 legendary dogs still to appear, I can't wait. I have all 4 legendary birds. Bring on the legendary dogs. Microsoft announced this week that they would be delaying the upcoming release of Crackdown 3 to a brand new release date of spring of 2018. In a statement to Polygon, Shannon Loftus, the Microsoft Studio Publishing General Manager, had this to say: "We're very excited about Crackdown 3, and so are many fans. And so it's a difficult call to move the release date. However, we want to make sure to deliver the right game, with the right quality and at the right time. Crackdown 3 is a hugely ambitious game, and we want to ensure we deliver the right experience all the way through every part of the game, whether that's campaign, co-op multiplayer, and or competitive multiplayer mode, Wrecking Zone. Getting the balance right between the 3 modes is important, and we're going to take the extra development time to ensure that. Gamers can expect Crackdown 3 in spring of 2018. Crackdown 3 was originally a launch title for the upcoming Xbox One X, along with Forza 7, Cuphead, PUBG, and Super Lucky Tales. And unfortunately for the Xbox One X, that list of true console exclusives grows thinner and thinner. Unfortunately, this was a huge blow for the console's launch. In what seems to be blunder after blunder for For Honor, Ubisoft hosted a For Honor Season 3 tournament that, well, ended in controversy. Man, it physically pains me to have to read this and report on this. Like, I genuinely want this game to succeed. I think it's unique, I think it's special, and I think that what it brings to the world of esports is huge, but what are you doing to me, Ubisoft? For the last couple months, For Honor's community has been complaining about an in-game bug that makes certain attacks invincible. The community calls it unlock tech, but to give you an idea of what it looks like, well, here it is in all of its glory.
Victory!
Well, at this week's tournament, esport player Jacob Palin abused the in-game glitch and won the entire tournament, taking home the grand prize trophy and $2,000. When he was interviewed after the tournament, Jacob Palin had this to say:
"When the victory came out, what was going through your head?"
I didn't think it would be this easy. For the tournament, I hadn't played the game for 2 weeks. So that was my preparation.
While the creative director of For Honor was handing Jacob the trophy, he had quite possibly the biggest "fuck you" statement I have ever seen.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Soon you might have to change your playstyle, but honestly, that's a fucking good job.
No, don't nerf the bush. No, don't nerf the bush.
Following the tournament, Ubisoft announced that the in-game glitch has been patched out, which leads me to the question, like, why didn't you patch it out before the tournament? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, don't make me hate this game, Ubisoft. My internal fear for Skynet and the human race being enslaved by an artificial intelligence has been an ongoing trend on the Nerf Report since, well, the very first episode. To hear their thoughts. And number 2, Skynet's probably on the way. No need to fear currently, but your future's probably pretty dark. And I warned you. I literally warned you that Skynet was coming. And it's here. Dubai has introduced the world's first robotic police officer. And this week, my fears were solidified much, much more. This week, Elon Musk's OpenAI created a gaming bot that competed in this year's Dota 2 tournament. Dota 2 is quite possibly the world's most popular multiplayer online battle arena, in which players compete on 2 teams of 5 players, and they must defeat the opposing player and conquer the other team's base, all the while defending their own base. This week, Dota's developer Valve hosted a Dota 2 championship titled the International 4. These events are huge. Valve released the numbers this week, and I think the International was watched by 20 million people. Just to give you a comparison, the Super Bowl is watched by an average of 111 million people worldwide, whereas the Olympic Games in Rio averaged about 27.5 million people. So that's almost the entire audience of the Olympics watching just people play video games. Well, to take part in the festivities, OpenAI's gaming bot competed one-on-one with the world's greatest Dota 2 player, Daniel Ishtun, otherwise known as Dendi. The gaming bot and Dendi competed in 2 rounds in which the gaming bot won both of them. The OpenAI's engineer said the bot studied and played Dota 2 for 2 weeks, and through training and practice, the bot learned lifetimes of experience. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to learn a lifetime's worth of experience. Wonder what Elon Musk had to say. OpenAI's first ever to defeat the world's best player in competitive esports. Vastly more complex than traditional board games like chess and Go. OpenAI was founded by Elon Musk in an attempt to prevent artificial intelligence from destroying the world. Elon Musk has notoriously been known as the guy who preaches to politicians and world leaders about the fears of artificial intelligence. In fact, he was so famously quoted as saying,
AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization, in a way that car accidents, airplane crashes, faulty drugs, or bad food were not. They were harmful to a set of individuals within society, of course, but they were not harmful to society as a whole.
The fact that artificial intelligence is able to master a game like Dota, which I can't even master a little bit, is super impressive. But historically speaking, this is not the first time an artificial intelligence has kicked a human's ass within some form of realm. In 1994, the Chinook, an AI developed by the University of Alberta, defeated world champion Marion Tinsley in a game of checkers. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue artificial intelligence defeated world chess champion Garry Kasparov 6 times. In 2011, IBM's computer Watson famously beat humans playing Jeopardy! In April of 2017, an AI system defeated a team of 6 poker players. Next year, OpenAI plans on expanding the current gaming bot to be able to compete in a true 5v5 Dota tournament. And honestly, that's going to be interesting because you have 5 players and the artificial intelligence is going to have to be able to predict the outcome of 5 different human minds. And I'm really looking forward to this, but honestly, the artificial intelligence is probably going to win. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, this is harmless. They're literally just playing video games. This has nothing to do with Skynet. Thumbs down. Report this for being spam. But hold on, you got to understand. This has to do with artificial intelligence as a whole. Like, when you see articles like this, in which Facebook shut down an artificial intelligence engine after developers discovered that the AI had created its own unique language that humans couldn't understand, you gotta start to think, we're pretty much doomed. That is it for this week's episode of the Nerf Report. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed yourself, please make sure to give us a like button, drop us some comments, let us know what you liked, what you want to see more of. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get alerted when brand new videos post. But more importantly, please share it with your friends. Let them know what you learned. Send it to someone as a Rickroll. Hell, make the Nerf Report the new Rickroll. I don't care. My name is Bryant Chappel. You are you, but more importantly, this has been the Nerf Report.
Are you listening? Damn.